Welcome, folks, to a brand new experiment in surprise role-playing games. Last time we did one of these, it was our debut experiment. Kate was here. And now, once again, I'm joined by Doug.
Hello.
Doug is going to be embarking on a surprise RPG. But in this case, it doesn't involve me. I'm just here to kind of co-host this initial discussion. The player for this game, at the moment, is Jarrod Pope.
Hi.
Now, you may know Jarrod from a lot of different projects that we've done here at Omniverse.
Yes.
What are some of your favorites, Jarrod?
There's occasional Flame On stuff initially, but then doing like Dungeons and Doritos or Call of Cthulhu. Oh, Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
You're the voice of Sam Hain on Ghostbusters.
Yes.
You were in
Lovely to be back.
some multiverse theater stuff over the years.
Yes, and making some sweet artwork too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plenty of sweet artwork.
Yeah.
So, Doug, this is not a duet per se.
Right. This is part one of a duo. There'll be two players to this game, which I guess maybe we'll save the reveal for who that's going to be for the next episode, the next session.
Yeah.
But for this first part, Jared's going to play his character, and we're going to go on an adventure, and
it will be a duet.
And it will become yes. This will be a duet between Jared and myself.
And if it's the first time you're hearing this, a duet is a term for a role playing game played between one game master and one player.
Yeah.
Therefore, a duet.
And then once Jared and I complete this first chapter, this first duet, the next person and I will do another duet, and then both of those characters will meet in a
Menage
trio?
a trois.
whatever you want to call it. And that might be the end of the game, or that'll be the next part of the continuation of it, whatever. It all depends on how everybody reacts. This is going to be even more open-ended than Kate was here, I think, in terms of like what's going to happen, in terms of where it can go.
Well, that's a heck of a statement.
It doesn't now. I am intentionally saying that this shouldn't be as long. I don't foresee this going on for multiple sessions like that. I think this is going to be nice, quick, sort of to the point. Once we get all the players playing at the same time. I don't know how it's gonna. It's up to the players at this point.
Good.
Other than that, Jared, so from your perspective, what do you know you're about to step into, if anything?
So based off of the kind of the prompts that you gave me, it's this scenario in particular takes place in the early to mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's I want to say the Washington D.C. area.
It is, yeah.
And the character that I'm piloting for this is like an angsty teenager kind of guy.
Now, I think when I originally was pitching it to you, I mentioned the time and the location, and then said, "Hey, try and be anyone between ages of like 15 to like 30 or something like that." I said, try and be like maybe a young professional or maybe still in high school.
Yeah.
The rest of it's up to you. And then you came up with this character who's 17 years old, still in high school. Why don't you tell us a bit about this character, what their name is, and what they're like?
So I will be playing Zach Zielinski. He is a high school student. He's very fond of chemistry. He identifies as the part of the goth subculture, but he cannot afford some of the more like high-end stuff that you would see in sort of like almost like vampire fashion.
He's thrift store goth, I guess?
He's trailer park goth. But he's totally enamored with Gothic literature, and he and his dad watch horror movies together, and so that's kind of like their bonding thing. And so Zach's so really enamored with chemistry, not just in the actual field of study, but also like the romanticized literary world of chemistry, where it's more like alchemy. And so he attends a very well-to-do school. He's kind of in a zone that
we speculated that it was that if he's trailer park mobile home goth, whatever neighborhood he's in is just barely inside the zoning line.
Yes.
For him to go to this school that is for the rich Washington elite.
Yeah, so he gets derided a lot, and so that's a point of contention for him, and so he immerses himself in the romance and the fantasy of alchemy, and especially like transmuting lead into gold as like a metaphor for going from poverty to riches. And he sees that as like education being that throughput.
And the only other thing we discussed more about your friends and everything, but we'll get to that when we play the game. The only other thing I think I told you was that the genre we're going for is like slasher horror.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess unless there's anything else, I think we can jump right in.
Well, yes, Doug. There are quite a few things else.
What else?
The most notable thing is that in Kate Was Here, we were using the Fate dice system. And in this, we're not doing that.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a good point.
So please tell the audience on a technical level how you're running this experiment. It's like you've never done the scientific method before.
Oh, well, because I'm like, we got to get to the story. That's the important part. This time we're running the Open D6 system. It's just only using D6s, and there is a wild die component. If the wild die rolls up a 6, then that means Jared gets to roll again and again and again as many times as Jared rolls a 6 on that wild die. He gets to keep rolling, and it keeps adding to his total. So he could knock it out of the park.
If you're familiar with Ghostbusters Resurrection, that was the basis for the Open D6 system.
Yeah.
And the wild die is effectively the ghost die. Something good could happen, something bad could happen.
Yeah. If he rolls a 1 on the wild die, then something unexpected happens. But the 6, you just keep adding it to your total.
Okay.
Aside from that different system, this is also because of the content of this game. This is the first time I've ever ran a game where I asked any players to fill out an RPG consent form. I didn't know if we would need it. I think we're fine. I think we're all fine. But it's the fact that I was like, this is new territory for me as well, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's always best to wear protection.
Yeah.
So
well, especially when we're going to potentially some dark places. So
you gotta
Jared's fine with dark places.
keep it wrapped up and have a safe word. But also we should discuss why the change from Fate to Open D6.
Fate was okay. Fate seemed better suited for a pulpy, superhero-y, super extravagant world that you could make up stuff on the fly.
Which made it weirder for me to do Kate, because I was like, I'm trying to make a normal person, and none of this.
I thought it'd be simpler with only like 4 dice, and like that's it. Not even with numbers on it, I thought the simplicity would allow us to roleplay a bit more, but it
was simple in ways, but sometimes we'd stumble over like, okay, so I want to do this. Now I got to roll for it.
Now what do you roll?
Which fucking category does it fit into?
Yeah. Here with Open D6, it's more laid out of like what skills and attributes and everything like that, so we can get more specific without having to wonder if that's the right fit or not. And also, Jared, feel free if I ask for a roll in something, you're like, I don't think that makes sense. Just bring it up and
communication.
We'll figure it out. I do, there will be dice rolling for lots of things, but I do firmly believe for a kind of story like this, roleplay heavy will be preferred for most situations.
Jared, what are you anticipating from this project, especially having listened to some of Kate Was Here and having a different kind of ambiguity thrown at you?
I'm approaching this with an open mind that anything and everything could happen.
Yeah. I don't.
I mean, you threw out the words like 80s, 90s slasher. I'm like, okay, here are some rules that they've established, but I don't know if you're going to do that, Doug.
Yeah,
you might throw a curveball at me, and I'm not sure.
There's again, this is new territory for me. I've never run a game that's going to be quite like this. Same way it was with Kate Was Here, but in a totally different direction. So let's see what happens.
Okay, so this is the last you're going to hear from me for probably a good long while, but. I'll be here working the monitors, watching the magic happen from the outside this time, and well, Jared, Doug, good luck.
Thanks. We both are like, thanks. Don't know what's gonna happen. Unless you want to be like you want to be the surrogate like audience, like, baby, don't go in there.
Don't do it,
Jared. Ignore her.
Don't do it.
It's like no one else is here, Jared. It's just us.
Why do I hear a live studio audience?
Yeah. I'll have to give Kat a soundboard of audience reactions. Like, yeah. And if it's 90s,